Evening, everybody. Matt Geary for the Geek pocdcast on this Monday evening. With me tonight, we have my co-host, JonJo Cosgrove.
Hello, everyone.
And with us, our special guests tonight, podcast extraordinaires from the Batman the Animated Series podcast, Will and Alex. How are we, gentlemen?
Yeah, that's right. Will comes before Alex.
Brotherly
Funny thing
rivalry,
is, I
gotta
did give
love
him the note.
it.
I gave Matt the note and said it's normally stylized as Alex and Will. And he just went, "Oh, Will and Alex."
That's
Okay,
right.
yeah, fine.
So, gents, who are you? What do you do? What's your thing?
You first, bud. You were
I'll
named
just
first. You go first.
All right. My name is Will Robson. I am a comic book artist and writer. I've been working on and off with Marvel and DC and Image for the past nearly 10 years. I've drawn a lot of comics from Spider-Ham to Batman to Spawn to a bunch of crazy other stuff that I can't think off the top of my head right now. But the main thing I'm doing recently is I am focusing on my own comics, and I'm making books through my own company called Speech Comics, and I'm making a book called Outbreaks, which is a zombie anthology comic, which is like Black Mirror meets The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
And then I'm also making my other comic book, Mobster Mash, which is classic movie monsters, all as mobsters in a war in Tinseltown, maybe for the streets. That's me. Oh, and I co-host Batman the Animated Series podcast in my spare time.
There it is. I'm the other half of Batman the Animated Series podcast, which we do weekly. Episodes come out on Thursdays, reviewing episodes, interviewing cast and crew from the show, and just doing a deep dive into everything that is just a 90s Batman the animated series, from toys to everything outside of the show as well. And then I also edit my brother's books. I'm the editor on Mob Smash and on Outbreaks, which has been great to work with him on those projects. And that's pretty much it for me.
Okay.
Good night.
Yeah, there we go.
So this is obviously we are going to talk about the Batman podcast as we go along, but first, obviously, working together as brothers on a comic book. How well do you both work together? Is it quite a smooth process, or do you find yourselves arguing with each other quite a lot?
I think if we were both making Outbreaks and Mobster Mash where it was both our babies, I think that we would never speak to each other again, because we would have such different opinions about where the story should go that we would just butt heads too much. But it works well in the sense of Outbreaks is my baby, Mobster Mash is my baby. My brother is there for major moral and creative support. And that's how it works perfectly. That's why he's the editor. He understands that this is my story, but he's great at being like, hey, I think you're not thinking about this creatively. I think that you should do something here. This is a bit boring here. Move this somewhere else. And that is just, when you're so close to material, that is just, it's the best thing you could possibly get, because there's only been 2 scripts where I've had to cut out a scene every single time because he's like, boring, cut this out. So, and I would have left it in there and it would have ruined the book. So that's the importance of an editor. And I trust my brother's opinion because I trust his tastes in media and film. And we both like the same stuff. So when something happens that I write where he's like, yeah, that's sick, then I know, like, okay, I'm definitely going to do that. So.
Have you, as brothers,
It's amazing.
So as brothers, have you always sort of kind of got on, or is it like, see, me and my brother, we're really close now, but like we used to fight all the time when we were kids. So did you get to that point where you were just like, you went from mortal enemies to best mates, or was it always quite a good relationship?
Well, we've always had a very good relationship, but he used to be way more of a prick than he is now. He's much nicer now. Not perfect, but much nicer.
Okay.
And I'm just a prick all the time.
I was going to say, if I may, working with him has been surprisingly smooth, and we found we found my place in his storytelling, because we've created so many stories together over the years. I mean, going back to when we were kids, we were creating comic books together, writing and drawing them. The Raven, bro, the Raven. But like all of these ridiculous.
Quoth, what was it? Quoth the Raven. What
Nevermore.
does he say? Like, no, it was like
Nevermore.
quoth the Raven. Go fuck yourself or something like that. It was like so like Limp Bizkit early 2000s. Like, yeah, bro.
Limp Biscuit time. John Otto. Welcome to the Matthews.
Oh yeah,
That's right.
But yeah, we just we'd always do that as kids, but we would have our own ideas, and sometimes they would clash. And yeah, to answer your question, when we were kids, of course we fought. Not loads, but we definitely had fights. But as we've gotten older and I became less of a prick, we've definitely found our footing, especially in the creative arena, where we've always wanted to do stuff together. And because his career and where he went with that, I've just been fortunate enough to obviously find the best place possible, and he's welcomed me in on projects, which has been great. There's been other projects outside of Outbreaks and stuff that he's brought me in on because he likes my editing, which is really great to be able to have that opportunity to do that. So yeah, it's been surprisingly smooth. And we have disagreements, but there's a level of we don't budge from it, but we don't clash. Do you know what I mean? It's just I think it should be this. No, I kind of want to do this, and it's his books. So at the end of the day, I'm like, all right, you do your thing. But there's loads of suggestions I made that obviously have come into fruition and have improved upon the stories. And I love reading his scripts. So yeah, it's been great.
So obviously, a few months ago, you launched the first issue of Mobster Mash, which obviously I've got to do a little bit of advertisement. For anyone who's watching on the video, you can see it on the webcam at the moment. Signed copy,
You can put it back up there.
it's
Sorry,
good.
I preempted you with the wrong one.
Oh, you want it again? Oh, yeah. They just don't want to see my face. That's what it is. Yeah,
the wrong thing. There you go.
It's like, yeah, fuck off. Put the comic back up. Yeah, that's nice. That's nice, ain't it? As you get told, yeah, don't show your face. But obviously, yeah, Monster Mash, the first issue, come out a few months ago. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a good, fun read. I am quite a big comic book reader, but it's been a long time since I've really got stuck into a book and I went from beginning to end. It's very. I know you might think, it's only 20 something pages. I could honestly read a book 2 or 3 pages, put it down, pick up in an hour's time, go for it. But that was the first time in a long time I've gone from beginning to end. As soon as I got to the last page and it goes, to be continued, I was like, continues this October. Fuck, I've got 4 months to wait for another one. But
that's just when the Kickstarter launches, so it's going to take a while to the actual.
Oh, shit, it's going to be even longer. But I really enjoyed it. I mean, what was the inspiration to go for, almost like the classic monsters, and then mixing it with that mobster style?
Well, first of all, thank you very much. That's very nice what you just said. The inspiration, truthfully, was me and my wife like to watch video game playthroughs on YouTube, and we were just watching someone play The Wolf Among Us, and I was like, man, Wolf Among Us is so cool. I was like, I love this idea of taking these fairy tale characters and putting them into this private eye noir setting. I was like, there's gotta be a way you can do that with something else. And I was like, I don't know, maybe the classic movie monsters, but with what? And then I just randomly thought of mobsters. I was like, oh my god. And I immediately turned to my wife and I said, what is this idea of classic movie monsters as mobsters? She's like, and she looked at me, she said, what if it's called Mobster Mash as a joke? And I was like, no joke. That is the title. That is amazing. I love it. And ever since that was 3 years ago, and ever since then, I've been obsessed with piecing this whole story together. I mean, I spent over a year developing it and laying out all 12 issues of it, and yeah, I'm really excited to. I mean, this is my Hail Mary book. I'm sort of taking time off doing interiors for other companies at the moment. I'm doing covers for other companies, but the only interior work I'm doing right now is Mobster Mash because I want to get it done, full thing done at least the next couple of years and get it all out there and try and get an image one day and stuff. Like it's my book that I want to set up my career as an independent creator with, basically.
What's been good is that on the podcast, you have been giving everyone an update almost every week into like the creation with your comics, your own personal work. And I think that's one thing that's really, I think, got a lot of people interested because on this podcast, you're not just talking about Batman, you are talking about your lives, really. You're talking about everything that's been going on, the ups and downs. And I think when you see and hear it on that perspective, I think it gives something a bit different to what you normally do. I mean, when you obviously first started sharing about the art life in the podcast, was that something that you intentionally wanted to do? You wanted to let people see what was going on in your life, or was it just sort of like a happy accident and then you just went, oh, I can carry on with this?
So my brother's idea. I mean, he's the mastermind behind the whole entire podcast. So you talk about that, bud.
It just went, we need more content. So come on, talk about art. Come on.
Yeah.
I think, it definitely, even before Batman, when we were doing Spider-Man, the animated series podcast years ago, because we've been podcasting since 2017, I want to say, like January 2017, right at the start. And we did that one, and I learned so much doing that, and then brought that into Batman and grew Batman just beyond Batman Beyond, grew it just beyond the Spider-Man the Animated Series podcast and what that was capable of doing. But yeah, I one of the draws has always been he works for comic book companies, right? He works for Marvel, he works for DC. When we were doing Spider-Man, we were like, tell us, I was always like, talk about the Marvel work, because whatever you can share, that's just a draw for people to listen, where it's like, oh, this guy's, an artist. And then he started writing, and then he started, getting hired as a writer professionally. And then when we were doing Batman, he was doing Batman for DC, which was fucking cool. So to loop all of that in, it has accidentally, it has kind of pulled the curtain back on what it's like to be a comic book artist and writer. And I think, where he can shed some more light, or he does shed light every week, is it's not fucking easy. And it's not a job where you're like, this is the best job of my life. Like, that's every day I'm hopping out of bed to draw Spider-Man and Batman. It's a lot of work. There's a hell of a lot of red tape, and there's a lot of payment delays, and there's just problems that goes into this business. And he's sharing it not to complain, but just kind of like laying it out there for people that are listening, that are aspiring to, kind of pull the wool back, and so they can see, it's not an easy gig. And I think that's what the art life it does share, as well as obviously plugging his Kickstarters and everything else, and having the platform to do it on.
Yeah, because this is the thing. Because every week, you do mention the art life, and I think it is refreshing, like you say, because it's not the biggest glamorous job. It's not like you hear about like, oh, if you're a comic book writer, you're set for life. You've shown that there is a reality to it, but at the same time, you're getting to really express yourself creatively. You're bringing your ideas to life, and with the Kickstarters, with the backing of the podcast as well. Do you feel that with that, the Kickstarters have had quite an invigoration? They've really taken off because of that following from Batman Taspod.
Absolutely. I mean, the first Kickstarter I did was 2 years ago or something like that. And there was a few backers from podcasting, but there's definitely a lot of backers from podcasting now as well, which is, hey, I'm happy with that. I know some people are just happy to support. They don't really care about the book. They may not necessarily read comics. They might just be interested in Batman the Animated Series, the cartoon, but they just want to support me. And that's the lovely thing about Kickstarter is, if you wanted to make your own comics 10 or 15 years ago, it was so much harder than it is today, because you didn't even have all of the printers are different now. It used to be impossible to find a good printer to print an actual comic book. Now there's a great website called Mixam where you can just upload your pages and You wait a week and you got a bunch of comic books in a week. It's amazing. So it's a great thing. I mean, when we started doing podcasts, I honestly, I guess to an extent, I still do. I do it for my brother because I know it's something that he enjoys doing, and that's why I've always seen myself more as like the Andy Richter to the Conan, because it's I don't consider it
Wow.
my show. I'm the sidekick,
Very nice.
you know. And that's the way I've always enjoyed it. I mean, he's the one that's been able to grow it. I mean, it helps that I'm funny, I guess, but I'm just speaking the way that I usually speak if I'm not being recorded or not. And then he makes all these videos, and he's a social media wizard, so he's been able to really grow it into. I mean, one of our videos has over 1 million, 2 million views, something ridiculous. It's me like making stupid dick and fart jokes, like it's crazy.
Do you know what? That's the other thing as well, because talking about the podcast, it's not just reviewing the episodes and talking about all your stuff with the art life. You two are just hilarious together. There is just a great, there's just a great component there between you two that just produces such great comedy, and you can hear it is just off the cuff, a lot of it, that you are saying it as you mention something, and it just works. It's just hilarious. Even I listen to this, and I know it's gonna sound so fucking boring, but I listen to the podcast on a Thursday. So obviously, not by looking at me, you guess it, but I go to the gym on a Thursday morning, and then yeah, exactly. Yeah, I literally sit in there for an hour and I just go, yep, that's it, I'm right now. And then I would normally go shopping afterwards. So when I'm going shopping, I'll put my headphones on, I'll be walking around, and I'll have the latest episode playing, and then I'll just be like taking it in. And then a line will come up, and I'll find it so funny, I will laugh. And then it's not until about 5-10 seconds later I go, yeah, oh no, there's no one down this line, that's okay. And I thought I must look like a fucking madman when all of a sudden I'm staring at a box of cereal. I just go, oh shit. Honestly,
I love hearing stories like that. I love knowing where people listen to the podcast. First of all, thank you. That's really kind of you to say. Like, I've always from the get-go. So the podcast came to be because I used to walk to work every morning in London, and I would call him, and we would talk about this shit, and he would crack me up. And he makes me laugh more than anybody else in the world. I know I've said this on the show. So one day I was just like, I just want to fucking do this as a podcast because this is funny. And convinced him, and then off we went. And it was always set up to be that. It was like we're just sitting around, like if you ever heard us at a pub talking about this, like that's the premise of it. It's not, it has a structure. Sure, it's got to have a structure because it's a show, and I've maintained that structure, but I've also maintained the improv side of it, or just like off the cuff, talking. And I love knowing that other people find it funny, because sometimes I'm fucking cracking up and I have no idea if it's going to be funny or not. It's funny to me, but it might not be funny to. And I've had people comment on our, socials being like, "What do you two Brits know about Batman? You two are not funny." And like, the bigger you grow, the more people, the negative.
You're making it what you're doing well when you start getting criticized.
Yeah, it's true.
Exactly,
Yeah.
As soon as you start getting sort of negative, you start getting nagged. You're like, yeah, really need it.
Yeah. We've had lots of people be like, could do without all the laughing in the background. And I'm like, oh, I'm sorry that my brother's finding my jokes funny and laughing at them. I apologize for humor being funny.
Oh man, you always get sort of random people just have nothing better to do than to sort of be, assholes and stuff. Like my dog.
And the best part, they help. Sorry,
that's it. Yeah, it's straight like a
they help the algorithm.
That's it. That's exactly it. So right, I like Geek Pride stuff's being, it's not like massive or anything, but my dog has a TikTok with like 48,000 followers, just for him getting.
Oh, what's your
Nice.
dog?
Just-
Me and my girlfriend follow dogs on TikTok all the time. What's
well,
your
it's
dog?
it's Matt Geek Pride's the TikTok. His last video got 15 million views just because he came in out of the snow. Him coming in out of the snow seems to be a thing that happens. But you know you've made it because you get people just judging you. Like, you just know. I have so many people sending me messages and stuff telling me that I can't. I'm a bad dog owner, or I don't understand, and blah blah blah
Oh,
blah blah,
fuck
and it's just all
them.
kinds of things. And I'm just like, hey man, you can argue with me all you want on this, because every time you argue with me, that video's playing in the background, and that's just money. Ching ching ching. So I'm like, and I'm just encouraging
I'm literally
it.
watching your dog. Your dog is amazing.
Yeah.
But obviously
Your dog
that's
is
how.
absolutely amazing.
JonJo, you frozen up? JonJo.
Huh?
Sorry, you froze up there. Didn't see you. Right.
Oh, did I? Oh, I mean, I could have just choked anyway. But yeah, well, obviously talking about your comedy side and like the impact. The first time I saw you guys was it was part of your review of Almost Got Him, and you were talking about the giant penny, and the like when you say about how did Batman get that into the Batcave. And yeah, how the fuck am I supposed to take this giant penny with me? And it's just like that segue was just so hilarious. It just kept going on, and then when you got Alfred, he goes, "Oh my god, that's the biggest penny I've ever seen. That's going to be a bitch to clean." It's like it was just, and it's like every time.
I don't remember any of the stuff that I say.
I mean, I've probably seen that video like 20 times. So that's why it's stuck.
I delete the file the moment the podcast is done because I'm just chatting shit. And there's plenty of times in the podcast where I chat for way too long and I go on for too long and I've gone down a rabbit hole that makes no sense or anything like that. And so they're not all winners, but yeah, I get so many people messaging me like about specific jokes that I've said from like I was gonna say like 2 years ago, but I think some of them even like from a month ago. I'm like, I can't remember saying that shit. No clue.
How long's
The
the
best-
podcast been
The
going
best was
for?
recently.
Sorry.
What the Batman one.
Yeah.
Batman one. We started on the 30th anniversary of Batman the Animated Series, literally on the day.
Wow.
So that was 2022. Yeah, because the show came out in 1992. Yeah, so September of 2022 we've been doing it. So yeah, quite a few years. We're coming up on 3 years soon. Feels like longer, but then we did the Spider-Man podcast for since 2017. We did that for a long time, but we've been way more consistent with Batman. Week to week. Spider-Man, there was a lot of breaks. I went through a divorce. There was a whole big break there. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of gaps when we were doing that one. But
so
yeah,
you started it just
consistent.
after, just before Kevin Conroy died, then?
Yeah, man, it sucked. We were 2 episodes in. We did the first episode was like an intro. In case people didn't listen to Spider-Man. This is who we are. This is what we're going to do. Then we did On Other Wings. Then we waited till Christmas for Christmas with the Joker, and then in 2023 we started, and he died like literally soon after we did episode 2, I think. Yeah, and we did a Remembering Kevin Conroy as episode 3. And the thing with us is, when we did Spider-Man the Animated Series, getting guests, I was always so skeptical, like, we're never going to get these people. But we were getting guests in Spider-Man, and I just slowly but surely
John
started
Semper
to realize,
Jr.
like, John Semper Jr., yeah, for Spider-Man the Animated Series, which was great, the creator of the show. And then, doing Batman, I was like, we're never going to get, like, Kevin Conroy and Paul Dini, but we've had Paul Dini, we've had so many writers and so many directors and so many voice actors. And sadly, never got the chance, because I think we would have gotten Kevin Conroy on the show. I don't doubt it.
What I really enjoyed was you've had Paul Dini on a few times, and what's good is that he does actually you've been asking him questions as well, and he does give you answers or debunk some myths over certain episodes. And even like watching that, I was thinking, well, that's quite. I'm being entertained, but I'm being educated. And to me personally, I'm like, I'm learning stuff about one of my favourite shows. That's good. There's that part of me thinking, if I told this to anyone else, they'd just go, "What the fuck you on about? Who's Paul Dini? What you on about?" And especially my partner. If I mention anything to do with cartoons, she just goes, "Fucking grow up, come on." Yeah, it's just like, all right, I'll watch them by myself, dear. Go on, that's fine.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I my girlfriend as well. Like, she's supportive, but she doesn't know. She only knows who Paul Dini is because I've told her and was excited to have him on. But yeah, I really love having guests on because when we do episode reviews, me and my brother, we're just ourselves, and we're reviewing it, and I bring fun facts and all of that stuff, but I also, want us to have fun and have a laugh, and we always end up making fun of it because you make fun of the things you love. It's just that's how we are. But when we have guests on, I'm not going to make fun of it in front of Paul Dini. You know what I mean? I'm not going to be like trying to get him to make fun of his own writing. Did he have a laugh?
Fun of? I'd say it's just having a laugh, really.
Yeah.
As long as he doesn't watch any of the other episodes.
Yeah. Sometimes, yeah, and I mean, the reason that he came on the show is because of the voice actor of Bishop in X-Men '97 is a fan of our show and listened, and he loved The Strange Secret of Bruce Wayne. His name is Isaac Robinson Smith, the voice actor. And he loved one of the clips, the videos, you were talking about before of the giant penny. These clips, go out there, they do really well. And apparently Paul Dini was walking around his house reciting some of the stuff from the clip and saying, "I biffed it," and all these things. And that's crazy to me that, and then he was like, "Yeah, I'll fucking go on their show." You know what I mean? And
Paul Dini quotes me.
Do you know what? I'll
be the other way around.
I've seen that video. I'm sorry I haven't listened to podcasts, but I've seen that video.
There you go. There you go. These clips, they're designed to obviously bring people in and check out the page, and if they see enough of them, then they subscribe, and then they check out the podcast. And you can't bring them all in, and I'm the fact that you don't listen but you've seen it is really nice in itself. That the clips are doing their job. That's what they're meant for.
No offense,
but yeah,
by the way,
Paul Dini had a laugh.
Yeah, I'm sorry, it didn't sound like I'm not listening to your podcast. It's just like I have
no.
I have too many audiobooks on my backlog to kind of start go. I barely even listen to our own podcast, let alone sort of other people. I've just got like
no,
so
it's
many.
definitely a separation. I mean, there's people that probably just watch the videos. Yeah. There's people that just watch the YouTube version of the show. There's people that just only probably listen to it. They don't even watch any of the other stuff. So it's all content at the end of the day. It doesn't matter to me.
Well, do you know what we were saying? We were saying before we started doing this recording, because a lot of the guests that come on here, they know a lot about like tabletop gaming. They know a lot of things on that side. D&D. The thing is that a lot of them. Yeah, but the thing is a lot of them is about stuff that I don't really have a lot of knowledge of. So when they come on, I contribute a little bit here and there, but it's like I don't really know anything about this. And then it was like, this opportunity. It's like Batman the Animated Series, one of my favorite shows. Will's books. I've been enjoying his books. It's like. Perfect. This is it. This is now my chance to actually lead the conversation for once. So it was like,
it's good.
It's not going to happen again for years, but
yeah, it's good because Pete will get
Matt, you could probably. Sorry. You could go on mute, mate, and make yourself some dinner or something like that.
Yeah,
that's it. Yeah, we could easily do that.
It's good. It's good. But it's generally. Well, the thing is, I'm the same. Like I'm in a different because Pete, who generally does the stuff with us, he's really good because he's sort of freelance journalist for the BBC and some other things, so he knows a lot of authors and a lot of people and stuff like that. But his main thing is Vampire the Masquerade, so he really loves vampire stuff. We get a lot of vampire stuff, guests and things, which is great because it's all very interesting. But it's just you can tell that's his thing, and because he books a lot of the guests, it's like okay. So me and JonJo are kind of sitting there, kind of going,
we're just messaging each other, going, what are you doing after the podcast? Do you fancy doing a couple of games on the VR later? Yeah, of course. Yeah, we'll catch up later. Yeah. But oh god. Do you know what? Obviously, with the podcast, I know that you've been covering all the Batman animated series episodes, and you even mentioned it a little while ago that you are coming to the end of its of the original run, and then you're going to have the new Batman Adventures, and then I know you're looking to go towards the Batman Beyond as well, and I'm sure there'll be a couple other bits. Yeah, I did notice the shirt. Don't worry, I did see it. But I know that you, like I say, you still got some of these episodes coming up. One of my favorite episodes, which I only saw probably about 3 or 4 years ago, but it then become a favorite of mine, was Lock Up. I don't know how I never watched that before, but I know that's coming up soon. I'm looking forward to when you do your review of that. But I just love that because it was just such a different episode, and to actually see a character who, you know, believes himself to be a hero, and he's basically making all the villains shit themselves. That was just one that I was like, this is very interesting. And I thought it was so good. Yeah, it is such a and then that's another one that translated from TV show to comics as well. So I believe that was the right
another
way.
Paul Dini creation from the show. You know, he created Lock Up for the show, and then just he kind of took off.
Maybe we should try and get it back on
comic.
for Lock Up. I think that'd be fun if we could swing that.
That'd be
I mean, there's also I can certainly try and reach out. There's also odes to Travis Bickle and Taxi Driver in Lock Up. You know, there's quite a few odes to that movie, which I'm sure when we get to review.
So that's it. I'm a huge Taxi Driver fan. That's one of my favorite movies of all time. It's actually a movie that got me into wanting to make movies because that's what I wanted to do before comics. That's what I went to school for. But I've never seen the episode from the point of view of someone who's a big fan of that film. So I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure we'll talk about it in our review. But I will certainly, you know, with these episodes, I always try and get guests to come back, but you know, they got busy lives, and obviously we got a big old time difference as well. But I always do try. I mean, the episode is written by Bob Skier and Marty Eisenberg, who are the guys that wrote the two. One of the Riddler episodes, the What Is Reality, and they wrote his Silicon Soul as well, the Robot Batman episode.
Another very good episode.
Another great episode, yeah. So I haven't spoken to either of those guys in a while. They've been on the podcast, so maybe I can get them on. But if it's just us two fat little cherubs reviewing Lock Up, I'm sure it'll still be a good time.
You haven't managed to nab Mark Hamill then?
No, Hamill is a get. I mean, I said I don't doubt myself anymore with who we can get on the show, and it's true. I mean, I have hope that I can get Mark Hamill, but you know, you have to go through a lot more hoops to get to Hamill.
What a coup that would be if you managed to get Mark Hamill. Like,
I know, I've gotten close. I've gotten close, man. I've gotten close. I really have, and I've gotten to someone that was representing Hamill. They don't represent him anymore, which is why it went nowhere. But I did get that contact and I did reach out. So you just don't know, you know. But I certainly will try. Maybe in the future, Return of the Joker. That would be amazing.
I was going to say the Return of the Joker film will be the perfect one to get him in, because that is hands down. I think that's probably one of his best performances as the Joker. It's so well done,
and that's years from now. So who knows? I mean, it could be. You know, the bigger the podcast gets, the more people that listen, Matt, then the bigger it will get. That means that,
I've just been called out.
You know, you'll get noticed more, and you actually get creds. Because when I go to these people, you know, I used to go to the Spider-Man people, and I used to leave out all of the amount of listeners because it wasn't a high number. But now I'm proud to say it is a high number for Batman the Animated Series. So when I do approach them, I do have that, and I think that speaks volumes. You know, like, you got to be likable, and they got to want to come on the show. But I think popularity obviously plays a key part in that as well.
Yeah.
Okay,
it's great. It's good to hear the enthusiasm. You put a lot of effort into yours. Ours is just more of a thing that just happens on a Monday evening.
We just turn up.
Yeah, it's like it used to be.
We turn up and hope for the best.
You know, I think because I've got too many hobbies. That's my problem. I used to what's the word? hobby overload and stuff. So getting everything done, I don't have as much dedication I think as you chaps have. So like we do all right, but it's definitely not along the lines of use. So it's good to see successful podcasters, and yeah, like
yeah, that one was successful podcasters.
Yeah. Well, that's sorry. Yeah, that didn't sound right.
I mean, let's be fair. Let's be fair. You get plenty of people listening and watching you, and then when I ever play a clip for someone, they just talk about poo. It's like, well, no, there's more to it than that. There's also other.
Some of it.
But yeah, it's
it's
like I think the point
that.
was more like there's so it's so what's the word, saturated, like podcasts every there's a bunch of a bunch of white guys. There's gonna be a podcast, and it's just good to see, especially in niches as well and stuff. So like as much as I wasn't super as into it as maybe JonJo and yourselves, I did watch the animated series when I was growing up, and I do have fond memories of it and stuff. And I still kind of remember, like the episode I think of Mark Hamill is it in the taxi where he's sort of kind of doing his own voices. He's doing the voices.
No, that's the I know what one you're on about. That's the that's one of the Justice League action ones.
Is it
when he's playing Joe? Yeah, when he's playing Joker, Trickster. He's also playing himself, and he was playing Swamp Thing.
Yeah.
Because he's tricking. Yeah. I thought that was brilliant because I remember he advertised it on Twitter, and he goes, this is the only episode I've ever done where I slept with the whole cast. It's literally just him playing every character. I was like, that's brilliant. Yeah. That's fun. Yeah. So going back to the Kickstarter. So as of recording, from tomorrow on the 1st of July, you are launching Outbreaks.
And I've got it on screen now. I got it here. Okay.
Oh, that's all right. Saves me having to hold it up now. I can actually hear myself on the microphone then. But yeah, so you've got Outbreaks. It's a collection of it's volume 1. You've got how long is the fucking no? It's been a long day. How long is the Kickstarter going on for?
I think it's like 31 days or something like that. If I get my laptop's open, I think I could launch it if I wanted to.
Do it
on the podcast.
Do it.
I haven't made the video yet for it, but
it's 1st of July somewhere in the world, so yeah,
it's true. Yeah. And my big thing is that if you get it on the first day, then
if you launch it, I'm getting my phone ready just in case you do launch it now. Like, yeah,
I'm putting in the stuff to do it. If you back on the first day, when is this podcast out?
It's live.
We're technically broadcasting now.
It's live now.
It's live right now.
It's live now.
Yeah. It's live right now. So if anyone's listening now,
anything that needs editing, woof.
Yeah.
We don't edit anything. Don't worry.
Yeah, don't worry.
Right, well, then
there's very little
editing.
The pod, it goes on like we do sort of kind of the live things that sort of just like streamed out to the world, and then it gets put on like Google and Spotify and stuff like that on a Sunday usually, when I've gone through all my other bits and pieces during the week and stuff.
Well, when I click it live, the first day, which will be, I guess, today and tomorrow, you get a copy of Outbreaks Free Comic Book Day for free. So I released across comic book stores across England Outbreaks Free Comic Book Day. Probably should have had a copy on me. Oh, actually, I do.
Oh, he's prepared.
Somehow I'm prepared on a day like this. If you back today, you get this for absolutely free. It's an 8-page comic book. Very short, but it's a brand new story in the world of Outbreaks, written by myself, drawn by Dylan Deco Noir. And that comes free and signed. So if you back it...
Co-created by who? Co-created by who?
It was originally my brother's idea. I'm sorry about that. He was the one that came up with the idea for the story. I'm sorry about it. I'm sorry.
It's good to know that there's still some issues with the siblings.
You're not my money, pal.
All right, I'm going to click launch. You guys ready?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's share this.
Ready? 3, 2, 1. Oh, continue.
Refreshing.
Yes, quick launch, please.
Refreshing. Practice
is
project.
live.
There you go. We're live.
Hey, there we go.
There you
It
go.
is
I'm on
live.
it. I'm on it.
There you go. There you go.
Hey.
My God, it was such a long time doing it.
Oh,
Now,
did I
if
just
you are
get
a fan,
Yeah,
Batman
I
the-
got an email saying it's live.
oh, great. So if you are a fan of Batman the Animated Series podcast, there's a very special add-on in the campaign. It is going to be a Killer Crocs, Killer Wings menu, which is a part of our stupid jokes. So you'll get a full menu of Killer Crocs, Killer Wings with a Killer Crocs, Killer Wings logo, and it will be signed by both my brother and myself. So that is the very special Batman the Animated Series podcast
Nice.
stuff right there.
Yeah, that,
Yeah, I'm just scrolling down.
yeah.
That's just...
I'm looking forward to seeing that full menu of the Killer Crocs, Killer Wings. That's I'm gonna be
we got to
tempted to try
remember
and
all
make
the
some of them as well.
stupid stuff we said to put on it.
Yeah, I mean, obviously there's the classic sick poo sauce or raw sewage, raw sewage with raw chicken. I'm
Oh,
sure
here
there'll
we
be other
go.
ones that we
I've
can
just-
remember as well.
So how do you
You're
find?
gonna have to make some up though.
Yep. How do you find Kickstarter? So, we've had, we've had sort of lots of different sort of types of people. We've had RPG creators, people who have created their own sort of books as well, authors, like a board game guys who do board games and stuff. How do you find it as a comic book creator? Is there any? Have you had any struggles with it, or is it sort of pretty sort of straightforward for yourself?
I think it's. I really like it in terms of comic books. There's a great podcast out there called Comics Launch, when that's comics with an X. It's made by a buddy of mine who actually gave me one of my first jobs in the comic industry over at Comics Tribe, Tyler James. And he basically has a great podcast where he just lays out, like, hey, if you want to make a comic book on Kickstarter, this is what you need to do. He even has a whole course that you can like pay for and become part of this whole community, which is really fun. I just got a notification about backings from both of you guys. Thank you so much.
My one was taking so fucking long to load up. I realised I hadn't selected the right. I hadn't selected the right country. That's why it wasn't coming up.
There you go, backed. I too.
Amazing. Thank you so much. Yeah, you guys are the first backers.
Oh, no. Do you know what? Like
Oh,
I said,
I've got to do
from
it
reading-
too now.
Yeah, you got to. Can you imagine that? We beat his own brother to do a backing.
Yeah, he's usually
I was
the
on the
first
fence.
backer. On the fence. Fuck off.
I know the stories.
But what was I saying? Yeah, no, in terms of comics, it's really good. I mean, you got to know your budget. I just saw it came through. Thank you, buddy. Oh, that's very generous of you. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
You got to know what your budget is, because if you don't know what your budget is, you may get screwed with shipping and handling. My first campaign, I didn't do the math correctly, and I had to. I'm glad I got overfunded. Otherwise, I would have been screwed. And it's just like I said. Now with companies like Mixin, where you can print stuff on demand so quickly, it's very easy to just make and set yourself up your own comic books. Comic books cost a lot of money, though. I mean, you got to pay for a penciler, an inker, a colorist, a letterer, and all that stuff. Luckily, I'm all those things, but I still have to get help elsewhere from other artists because I, have my day job drawing at Marvel and DC. So it's a lot of money, but it's a lot of hard work. If you love it, then it's definitely worthwhile. Like anything, really.
Is the job for like the more? I'm assuming it's like freelance then, so you just sort of bid for jobs, or is that how it works?
Yeah, so you can be full time at these companies. You have to be really good though, so I'm obviously not good enough. Thanks, Marvel and DC.
Don't say that.
Only 9 years of my life are dedicated to you, but whatever. No, I'm kidding. You can become a full time employee at these companies, and they'll put you on a salary and give you benefits and all that stuff, and you can demand certain things where if you want a certain amount of covers every year or you want to work on a particular book. That's something I really, really wanted early on in my career, not so much now. But it's mostly freelance, and it's not for it's a tough industry. Like you got to constantly, when you work, you got to work all day, every day. The pay is not anything amazing. I'm not rich or anything like that. Far from it. A lot of times I get paid less than minimum wage, depending on the company that I'm working for, the amount of hours I put into it. You got to be competitive with your art. You got to be able to be as good as better than somebody else that's drawing a book. You need to show your work and be like, look how much better I could do it if I drew the book, which is not in my nature, but it's like something that I've had to like develop to do, and it's just like you gotta love it. Basically, if you like to doodle in a book, comics is fucking not for you. There's a reason it's a small business, like a niche business, is because it's a crazy business. Like no normal person would ever do this stuff unless you loved drawing these characters. Like, for when I drew Batman, I had such a crazy deadline where I had to get a page done every single day on the last like 10 or 11 pages, pencils and inks, and I did it because I fucking love Batman. It was my first time ever drawing him, so like that's just what you got to do,
You got 6 backers, £1,431 so far, man.
Holy smokes!
Within
Wow.
a couple of minutes. There you go.
Wow.
How about that?
Yeah, there you go.
That's
brilliant.
You got, you got. What?
You launched at the
I'll
right
have to check on
time.
that in a minute.
Yeah. See?
I'm just it's on my screen, so it's just 1,500 now. You got another one.
Yeah.
What the who? How?
This is the thing. You should
The
never
role,
question.
baby.
It should be, it's brilliant. How the fuck
Yeah,
did
yeah,
that
That's brilliant.
Nice.
Oh god. So if no one else has done it yet, get onto it now. Outbreaks.
Yeah,
Volume
get on it.
1.
Yeah, baby.
Do it now. Do it now. If you ain't already been told, yep, do it. But yeah, Jesus Christ, it's it's great. It's nice when you see that as well. Literally within minutes, you've already got so much going for it. So this is only the first 5-10 minutes. This is this could fucking hell. By next week, you could be completely funded and over.
Don't tease him. Don't tease him. If he's
I
not,
don't- I
I hear it. I'm the one who gets texts with like, I'm having a meltdown. So yeah, just don't tease
I-
him. Just,
I have to say that huge backing I don't think is legitimate.
Really?
You don't?
No, I got a funky message from the backer that sent it.
Boo.
Saying what?
Boo.
I'll meet you in a dark alley.
Yeah,
if you want the
yeah.
money. Like,
No, it's a very sus one. But I've never seen that. I know like so on Kickstarter you can get like people that back and then they cancel at the last minute and stuff like that. But that one is very sus. So
Yeah.
I'm not going to get excited about that one.
Yeah. Oh, boo.
okay.
Funny enough, years ago, me and a friend of mine, we tried doing a Kickstarter for we was running a radio station, and it's expensive to keep something like going because of all the licenses. And when we were trying to go to our second year, we were trying to renew a lot of our equipment because a lot of it was handed down. Some of the stuff was from like the 1970s and was falling apart. So you put a volume level up that wasn't coming back down because the fucking knob would come off of that. You put something on the screen was starting to like pixelate, and then and then we put a backing down, and we needed, I think it was like $2,500 at the time, and someone put a backing down, said, "Oh, I will fund you such and such money, but I want this in return." I said, "Right, well, how much are you looking to fund?" He said, "Oh, I'll put in the full amount." Okay, and I looked at his thing, and it said it backed something like 80 odd projects, none funded. I thought, okay, that's a bit weird.
All right.
So that's what he's thinking. So each project that put on £1 for each one of them. So of course they didn't fucking go anywhere. It's just like, I'll make it look like they're doing something, and yeah. Because I said to him, yeah, go on. I said, if you want to back us, I said.
The message from the person.
No, the message from the person said, "Oh, I'll give you the full money." Yeah, but then on everyone else's backing, he'd only put £1.
The message of mine says email me and I'll give you another $3,000. I mean, that's not real.
Yeah.
Maybe he wants you. He wants you to do something
what a
certain over the web camera, I reckon.
Yeah. Hey, man, you know what? You need must. You gotta do these things. You gotta do these things.
Camera's not working.
This camera's not working. That's brilliant.
That's the only reason you're not going to follow up that message is because the camera ain't.
Well, yeah, I've like I back many board games when it comes to Kickstarters and stuff. I've had some I had some nightmares when it comes to things being delayed. Like a lot. I had my current longest. It was do you remember the game Hero Quest? But Hasbro just re-released a game. I'm not sure if you're into your board games. There was a game called Hero Quest that came out in the sort of 80s, like early 90s.
I was a baby.
I was born in '88. That definitely means nothing to me.
So Hero Quest, it's sort of like early doors, sort of like a dungeon crawler type game, and they had like a 25th anniversary one that was going to come out, and it came out on Kickstarter, and then it got shut down because they had sort of issues with the licensing and stuff, because obviously I think Hasbro still had or MB Games, so they did it within Spain because they still had sort of some legal rights to it and stuff. So they did it on this like Spanish Kickstarter, and I went like, yeah, well, I want the new version of Hero Quest. I was a big fan of the old ones. I'll do that, and I get that. It's still going down. It's going to be like it's going to be like the 40th anniversary soon. Like, it's been going for that long, and it's still legal actions still going on. Like, when was it? Like, I was still in my old job. So that'd be 20. Yeah, so it's nearly. What is it? Would have been 15. 10, yeah, about 15 years. It's been about 15 years I've been waiting, and it's still, they keep on telling you it's still gonna happen, it's still gonna come, and I'm like, I've written that off long time ago, but I still get emails.
That's gotta be the longest con.
Yeah, it's gonna happen. Like, there's at least
that's the crazy thing about Kickstarter is you can raise money and then there's no requirement for you to fulfill anything.
Oh yeah. There was one.
It's insane. Like, I mean, you could burn your bridges, that's for sure. But like,
exactly. But you could run out of money. Like, there was a like I like sort of like painted models and things like that, and there used to be one that sort of had these massive sort of like resin busts and things like that. I got a really cool one of it's called Mother of Dragons, so it's like Danny lying in this huge sort of dragon skull, and it's really cool. So I backed a couple of those, and they had one called Moloch, which is like this big guy like in armor, and it was like pretty cool looking sculpt, and I was like, yeah, I could be over that. I would love to paint that, and I put 350 quid into it. And everybody's seen, like, some people got it, and then they had some issues with the printer and blah blah blah, and then nothing happened, and then suddenly they just disappeared. And then I just remember a couple of Christmases ago, I was just like, so, I appreciate you've had your problem, and I understand with Kickstarter, things happen, and having talked to a load of people on the podcast, that it's especially for physical, tangible things, it's not easy, and Kickstarter, it's not easy. So I was being very understanding. I said, look, I appreciate, can I just have something else? Because they did other things. I was like, can I just have those instead, with the money? And I got this, yeah, okay, you just give us a list of what you want. So I sent them a list, and there was obviously a lot, because I spent 350 quid. And then I got blocked and never heard from again, and so they took 350 quid that I'm never going to see again, and I was absolutely
mugged.
Yeah, absolutely
you
gutted.
got mugged.
Yeah, but it's funny, on the other side of things, I've done 4 Kickstarters so far. This is my 5th one. The amount of people that back and then just never fill out their survey, so I can't send them anything. I don't have their address. I don't know where I'm supposed to send it to. I've had like hundreds of pounds worth of stuff completely in the background. Even today, someone filled out the Kickstarter survey from 3 campaigns ago, something I launched like a year and a half ago. Jesus. I still sent it out to them. I was like, you're lucky I still have this stuff, like
wow.
It's still lying around.
That's really bad. That's mad.
And it's a lot of people. I think some people are just back because they want to support you rather than they want the item.
Yeah. That being said, we did a charity one for the Geek Pride. Did a charity one. We just thought we're going to raise some money for like cancer research and stuff. So we did like this like tacky one, and there was a few issues and stuff like like, long story short, basically, we got it all out and stuff like that, but it wasn't perfect and stuff. But we thought it's charity, you know. In the end, it's not like we're not making any money out of this. It's literally we're just trying to give money to charity. And we had somebody, and we sort of said, look, hey, we can send you some new stuff out because I think what they got hadn't turned up in time or blah blah blah. Send you some stuff out, blah blah. And they said, no, we want our money back. And I was just like, but it's for charity. You're taking money from charity. Like, they were, I just want our money back. I was like, okay, all right, fine. So I felt bad, so I gave them their money back and then put their money into the charity thing because I was just like, yeah, I can't sort of. Obviously, it wasn't my fault, but you know, it's just things.
Yeah.
The lesson learned: don't do anything for charity, folks.
Yeah,
That's
well,
basically
yeah.
And don't back anything on Kickstarter.
Yeah,
Except
no,
mine.
I think it is. I think you have to be. There's a lot of people we've had. I think maybe with yourself, like you said, what's the company you said you use that helps with it and stuff? Right.
What we're printing?
Yeah, printing.
Mixam, Mixam. It's a great little printer. Well, not little. It's big.
Yeah, are they sort of are they local? Or are they based in like a lot of them do a lot of printing in Poland and stuff? Are they?
I think they're a big chain because I know people in America print at Mixam in their local place, and there's ones in Canada and all that type of stuff. So I think they're worldwide available.
Like I think if you're prepared, it can be it can be very handy, it can be very useful. But I've so many people I've talked to have not fully grasped what. You know, including ourselves, like when we did one and stuff for like the charity and stuff, I wasn't at Kickstarter, it was Indiegogo, but it was still a similar thing. You don't fully grasp how much goes into it and what the back and forth and the admin and talking to, you know, getting comments and stuff, and dealing with all that stuff, and it can be like super stressful. And I think your mental health
fulfillment is crazy.
Yeah,
I have to. It takes me. Well, for Melp Smash, it took me a month to do fulfillment. It was so hard. I love Mixam, but I also use another printer that prints my foil covers and all of my trading cards.
All right, okay.
And they've made some mistakes in the past where it's caused a lot of headaches. I mean, I've had covers arrive, comics where I'm like, I need to post this out because I got another Kickstarter launching in a week, and it's the wrong interiors. All the pages were in random order in the book, or like it's the wrong cover on the wrong book, and it's just like the trading cards are not printed centered, or they're upside down, or they're not in the right shape, and a lot can go wrong, and it's very, very stressful. But like, yeah, I love making stories, and if this is what I have to go through, then this is what I have to go to. I mean, it's the classic old saying, but like if it was easy, then everybody would do it.
Do you find that you get it sort of within? Because like I have a view that with Kickstarters, I never expect anything to be on time. I'm always sort of expecting sort of 6 months, maybe even a year. How's your lead time? Are you generally on the ball, or do you find that you get delays?
For the first 3 campaigns, I delivered pretty much when I promised to, within like a month of when I said.
That's impressive.
The last one was not the same because my colorist was heavily delayed on the book. There's lots of printing complications, and the book just had to ship like 3 or 4 months later than I wanted to, and that stopped me from launching another Kickstarter, which I plan to do in March, and all this stuff. Like, it just throws a spanner into all these works. But that's just a part of it. Luckily, Kickstarter does this great new thing now where you don't have to finish the previous project to like continue into a new project if you've had successful campaigns in the past. Like, you've sort of built up a trust.
Yeah.
And also, what I hated before was I could not do a pre-launch page for my next book until I had fulfilled my previous campaign, which was dumb because it means that I could not advertise, hey, did you like this issue? Issue 3 is out in a week. Here's the link to the campaign. I always thought that was the stupidest thing. They've gotten rid of that now. You can pre-launch anything. Like, I got a pre-launch for Mobster Mash issue 2 already up, and that's not launching until October. So that just makes life a lot easier. And it's fun because it means that, like, on the comic book, I can put a QR code that sends you to the next campaign, which is like what I would want as a reader.
Yeah. Agreed. Yeah. Like I think you have a lot. Like again, I think it's more relates to sort of physical things. You get so many people, and we've talked to creators who have just been completely destroyed by comments, and they just like there's people, as if there's even a slight delay, are just on them straight away complaining and stuff like that. Like I'm pretty chilled. Like I know it has to be, things have to, there be no sort of comments for a long time before I'm like, yeah, there's something going on. But
Well, updates. I mean, I always do a monthly update.
yeah, you
That's
should
the
do, and
best
I think
way.
that's
Yeah.
super important. And like again, we've talked to a few people, and my only feedback to them is when you're doing a Kickstarter, oh, it doesn't matter if the update is just, hey, we've not moved any further forward. Here's, a picture or a doodle, or here's, just talking. At least someone, you can be seeing that you're there, and you haven't, everybody automatically thinks you've run away with my money. But it's, you're still there, but you do get a lot, and a lot of the games I've backed, they're really bad at communicating, and I can see why it winds people up, because if some people can just do a monthly review. Some of them do them like weekly and stuff, but a monthly one would be brilliant. But you get ones who they don't do them for 4, 5, 6 months, and then you're just like, they wonder why people are.
I've backed comic books that have from 2 years ago that I've still haven't received. The people. I can never do that personally. I would go insane.
Yeah.
And still having something on my plate, owing people money, owing people product. And also, how can you expect for someone to come back and support your product again that late? If I'm like, hey, here's my new book, and it's 2 years late, and then I'm like, hey, here's the next issue, I would tell myself to go fuck myself. Like, what? You expect me to like continue to support you? I don't trust you at all.
Yeah. Agreed.
But from earlier on, when we say about like when you've been updating things on the podcast, because that's what you would do, especially for Mobster Mash, because you were, I mean, you could see the frustration where you was going, oh, this hasn't been done yet. I'm a bit behind on this fulfillment. But then I saw the comments from some people, and they were going, "It's fine. Look, we can wait. It's absolutely okay."
Yeah, that was great.
Let's be honest. You have got a physical presence. Especially with a podcast now. So, I mean, if you fucked off, I mean, not only are you just, I mean, it's gonna be hard for you to disappear because you're on a weekly podcast, but it's nice because you are giving a personal update, and it's not just saying, "Oh, I'll get to it." You are actually saying, "Look, things are happening beyond my control, but I want to let you know it is still happening. I am still going forward with it." And I think that's nice. That's really kept so many people in the loop. And that's what I think will, especially like going forward into your next Kickstarter, people go, well, no, look, he's committed. He's, not everything went to plan, but, he still gave what was supposed to have been given. And, next, Outbreaks. Everyone get Outbreaks. Get it now.
Well, luckily, the nice thing about Outbreaks is that all the interior art is done because I've already done all of it. So there's not much more to do besides me re-lettering and coloring the whole thing, which I'm just going to do during the campaign anyway. So once the campaign's done and I get the money, I'm going to be posting everything out and printing it. So,
Alex,
true, yeah.
talking about sort of funding and stuff, do you use Patreon for the podcast or anything like that?
We have always discussed doing a Patreon, but it's just about having the right amount of content to make a Patreon worth it, because I would love to do a Patreon, but I just don't want it to be like you get episodes like a day early, and sometimes that might not even happen because we've just recently hired an editor, which is great. That's helped me out a lot, and that's helped me shift my focus into making more social videos, trying to monetize YouTube more because I don't have to edit episodes week to week. But yeah, Patreon, we have talked about so much stuff that we want to do, and we don't have too much where it's like overwhelming, but it's like, what's the right things to have? And like video games, for example, like we wanted to have like, part of our Patreon, watch us play, old retro games, like old Batman the Animated Series games and stuff like that. I think that would be a cool Patreon exclusive. But obviously all that stuff takes time. So right now, the only way you can give us money is through our tip jar. We have a tip jar that's linked in every single episode of our podcast. Wherever you listen, in the description of each episode, you'll see tip jar. You can click that link, and that takes you there, and you can leave us a tip, which helps keep the lights on in the pod cave, as we like to say, and all that lame shit. So that's super, and people have been so generous and gifted us some hefty tips, which is awesome, because we do the podcast for free, and obviously I've started to monetize now on YouTube and TikTok, and that's pretty much it. Actually, those are the main places. A bit on Spotify, but Spotify doesn't pay anything really.
TikTok doesn't give you,
but
loads,
that goes
to be
right
honest.
out. No, TikTok doesn't. It used to give me more.
Oh
but
yeah.
they don't give you loads.
It's for every 1,000 views. I think you get a certain amount.
Used to be £1.
Yeah, used to like. Well, let's
used to be £1.
When I was my dog's first massive viral video. I got it wasn't loads then, but I think I got about £1,000 for that, and then I got other people asking me to sort of buy it so they could pimp it online and stuff.
Well, hang on, I hear my dog. Let me wait and see if I can go viral with my dog. 1 second.
It's all about dogs, man. Like seriously, I just need to get my
I bet
dog.
he turned his camera off. I bet he turned his camera off because he's in his pants. 100%.
Baby?
There you
I want to be famous TikTok dog with money.
Yeah. You don't get a lot of money. You just get like you get sort of like for every 1,000 views, you get a certain RPM or not RPM, CRP or whatever they fucking call it now. You get a certain amount on it, and like my sort of dog's last one got 15 million views. I was like,
how many TPMs? Tweets per minute.
So yeah, that's it. Clicks per minute. Yeah, sort of, and I was just like, yeah, sweet. I'm gonna get pure cash for this. Now, don't get me wrong, I got $1.50 for it, but it was, if that was anywhere else, any other video.
Well, exactly. So to finish that, like, I'm monetizing, but all that goes straight out the door because doing a podcast ain't for free, even though it is free for everyone to listen. It ain't free to produce, and obviously hiring an editor now, that's a cost that that I'm incurring. And the podcast.
I didn't know this was a business podcast.
Yeah, it is now.
Is it Geek Crowd or like self-made crowd?
We've got many.
Well, we've gone through various different subjects. One of our weirdest ones was a few years ago. We had a whole ethical debate on religion. It was like, how the fuck did we go on about this? Oh, yeah. And that was on about an hour. We were doing that. It's like.
And then we had one with what's his name? Australian comedian. Does the dark room. John Robertson.
John Robertson.
Went on for through the lot. He has the record for our longest podcast, and just because he was hilarious, and it only stopped because he needed to take a shit. It was an absolute whirlwind, man. It was just brilliant. Yeah, it was just like we generally.
That's a great reason to get out of.
Yeah, it was just like it was just like I need to take a shit, and I was just like, okay, right, we'll see you later. And he just sort of went. Okay.
No pressure, guys. But if you want to try and top that ending,
JonJo.
I was just gonna say I'm gonna go take a shit.
I'm gonna take a shit. Yeah.
I have to take a shit
because we're trying to sort of not sort of impose on people as much these days and stuff. We will do our pub quiz now, I think.
Oh, yes.
Have you got your questions?
I have. So I've tried to do a little bit different. So what we do at the end of every episode, I come up with a quiz. It's normally something a bit geeky, and I'll give a selection of rounds. So what I've done though is I've tried to make it Batman based.
Not for me
for this
though,
one, which is
going
to fuck Matt up because he don't know anything about Batman. The thing is, I've tried to do this a little bit different because so for Matt and for Will, you will get a few options. Alex, for you, I've got something a little bit different, which I will explain in a minute. It's still Batman based, and I'm sure you'll still get 3 out of 3 on this one. But first, Will, so you have got there are only 3 questions each round, so you got to pick one round. So you can have either a round on the Joker, Harley Quinn, Two-Face. Fuck, I've already gone to 4. That was meant to be 3. Anyway.
Two-Face should have been
done that
2,
for
man. What are you
Two-Face.
doing?
Anyway, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, I fucked that up completely.
You did.
So, Joker, Two-Face, Harley Quinn, or Mr. Freeze are your options.
I'll go with Joker, as he's my favorite villain of all time.
Oh, okay, right. So, question 1, which you should know this. Before Mark Hamill, which British actor was originally cast as the Joker?
Tim Curry.
Yeah, that's correct.
I'm
a
so
lad-lib
proud
guy.
of him. I'm so proud of him when he gets characters right.
That's my
of
boy.
Batman the
That's my
Animated
boy.
Series. Yeah.
What I love is when you normally do these questions on your side, and then Will just goes, "I don't fucking know." It's like it's brilliant. It's like, just watch the episode. I didn't see it all. Yeah, that's correct. All right, number 2. Which character is shot by the Joker at the start of The Killing Joke?
Barbara Gordon.
That is correct. Joe, I think I
Love
made
the
Look
this
at the
joke
pride in
around.
Alex's eyes. The pride.
I think I've made this joke around very easy, actually. Question number 3. Which 2 actors have won Oscars for playing the Joker in films?
Well, Heath Ledger. There's another actor that's won an Oscar for playing the Joker.
Yeah. Well, for playing Joker. Yeah.
Is it Mark Hamill?
No.
No.
When? Oh, yes, because Mask of the Phantasm was nominated for all the Oscars. Should have been, though. That was a
Jack
good film.
Nicholson didn't win an Oscar for playing the Joker.
No, he
You're gonna
didn't.
kick-
No,
you're gonna
no.
kick-
Phoenix.
It was Joaquin Phoenix.
Oh, fuck off.
He's not
He's not
technically
obviously
the Joker,
not-
though, is he? He's sort of
Not
like,
obviously for the second film, which I still have not watched.
I actually got.
what's
Do you know
the
what?
big
I've got a
award
bit
did
of
he win?
I quite like the
Oh.
second film. I think I got it. Some people, I don't think some did. I kind of
Matt,
got
I
it.
was starting.
Oh, I
was
got
starting
it.
to
I
like
just
you.
thought it was a piece of shit.
Speaking of which,
so-
I'm gonna go take a shit now. So
I'm gonna go take a polio doom. That's what we should call it.
But so 2.5 for you, Will. Right, so Matt. So you have
No.
got Harley
No,
Quinn, Two-Face, or Mr. Freeze.
man, I am not going to know any of this shit at all. Yeah,
It's not all about the animated series, so you may know some stuff.
Okay. Who we got? Mr. Freeze,
He's still a
Harley
friend?
Quinn, or
Mr. Freeze, Two-Face, or Harley Quinn.
oh God, Harvey Dent. Do we go Harley Quinn or do we go?
Joe, I'd love for you to go for Two-Face, just so you hear what question 1 is.
Go on then. Okay, let's go for
All right.
Two-Face, shall we?
Because I tried to make this quite easy, because I thought you were going to go for Two-Face. Honestly, this is what I put down for question 1. What is Two-Face's real name?
Harvey Dent.
There we go.
I need to be trusted.
Who knew he was a pirate? Question number 2. Who played Harvey Dent in the 1989 Batman film?
Oh my God! He was in The Fugitive. He's in
Star Wars?
Man in Black.
no, you're
Star
Who are you talking
Wars.
about?
Who am I thinking?
Star
he's thinking of
Wars.
Tommy Lee.
Wait.
Tommy
he's
Lee
thinking of Tommy Lee
Jones.
Jones.
No, he played Two-Face in Batman Forever. I'm saying who
that's
played
what I was
Harvey
thinking.
Dent in the first Batman film?
The first
1989
Batman film?
Yeah, in
You
1989
truly
Batman.
belong up here with us in the clouds.
This deal's getting worse. all
is
the
it?
time.
Oh God! Oh fuck! What's his name? Plays Lando Calrissian.
Yeah.
Yes.
What's the actor's name?
Fuck! What's his name? Oh my God! This is my Star Wars knowledge complete. I should know this. Which this is the embarrassing one.
Will's name is in his name.
God.
Are you going to give up?
Yeah, go on then. It's gonna.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'll hand the question out to our other participants. Go on.
It's Billy D. Williams.
Billy D. Williams.
That's it.
Or William December Williams.
Yeah, I
What a
didn't.
fucking
You know,
name.
now you say it, I remember, but it just like I just as soon as you said
'Cause
Two-Face, I just went Tommy Lee.
he-
I was just thinking Tommy Lee Jones.
Because he was contracted to come back in
Right.
the third film, and then when Tim Burton left and when Michael Keaton left, they just went, no, we're just going to get everyone all different. Apart from Michael Gough, they kept him in as Alfred for all 4 films.
Yeah.
And the fella that played Commissioner Gordon, but I can't remember the actor's name.
Oh.
There was a chat going on in our Discord today about the connecting the Burton movies with the Schumacher ones, because in Batman Returns, Max Schreck there's a picture of Max Schreck with Arnold Schwarzenegger in his office. And
of course there
Arnie
is,
then
yeah.
Arnie then goes to play Mr. Freeze and Batman and Robin. So all of these people on our Discord today, shout out to our Discord, by the way, you can check it out. It's a great channel. But all the people are like, is that Max Schreck taking a picture with Dr. Freeze before he becomes Mr. Freeze? Is that Victor Freeze before the
Love
accident?
stuff like that.
Because it's Arnold.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
Mm.
That was cool. Yeah.
So yeah.
All right, yeah, that was embarrassing. I'm not so embarrassed.
So-
I'm not so embarrassed about not knowing him from like, I'm just embarrassed that I didn't.
Well, you still got one more question. You still got one more to get.
Yeah.
Right, this is one of my favourite ones. So in Batman the Animated Series, how many members make up the Two-Tongue Gang?
Oh God.
So this is Two-Face's gang. How many members make
Is
up?
this multiple choice? Can I have multiple choice on this one?
I could give you multiple choice.
You could.
Actually, I did write multiple choice.
Yeah.
So is it 2, 3, or 4?
I feel like 2 is going to be too obvious, but I feel like I'm going to say 2 because it's Two-Face.
That is wrong. There are 4 members of the Two-Tongue Gang.
There you go.
That
What,
would
they're
mean
gonna
that
weigh
they're each-
£1,000 each?
Yeah.
I go, guys. Right, there you go.
Yeah, well, that's my lowest
I'll get
scoring
there
round.
eventually.
Thank you, JonJo, you bitch.
I only had 2 breakfasts today.
I usually do quite well, but I usually get ones that I know about, and then he's just throwing that in. There you go. Fine.
Yeah, well,
Tied.
too fucking right. When you tricked me on that fucking Blackadder round ages
I
ago,
did not trick you. You should know that.
you went for the most. You went for the most particular thing in the question. I was like, I knew every other bit apart from one piece. You went, I know more than you. It's like, for fuck's sake. Oh god. Right. So, Alex, I did say there is something a little bit different for you. So, as of recording, what are your top 3 episodes as reviewed on the podcast?
What are the ones that we rated our top 3?
Yeah.
Now? The Laughing Fish, Joker's Favor, and Almost Got 'Em.
That's good because that's how I've got the questions lined up. One for each of them episodes. Trust me, they're easy. You're going to get 3 out of 3. There's no question about it. So number 1 in the Laughing Fish, what does G. Carl Francis say that the Joker's girl had done to him?
She sprayed that gunk all over me.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's sprayed, but he said a different S word. Yeah.
Squirted.
The Joker's girl squirted
that
on me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Get this
the
man to a
Joker's girl
doctor. It's like that's such a good line. I use that so many times out of context, and some people find it funny, and some people just want to, report me to HR. It's a weird line that
That's all right. We just made fun of Lord of the Rings with coming on people and share the load that Sam says over and over.
Looks like come back on the menu, boys.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of.
Oh god, yeah, I
innuendo.
remember that. Yeah, oh god, that. Yeah, how many times could you fucking say "come" within like a minute? It's like, God's sake.
We'll go. I'll happily go with the Guinness Book of World Records on saying last time saying "come" on a podcast. That's fine by me.
Yeah, yeah, it was just like, yeah. Joe, no, that's only the first question. Okay, question number 2. In Joker's favor, how much does Joker give to Charlie when he pulls up? So when he stops him after his bit of road rage, yeah, in money, how much does he give him?
2 cents.
Yeah, that's correct.
Jesus,
I was trying to think. I was almost about to put another Harley Quinn question into
What
that
a
one, 'cause I was
fucking
gonna
loser!
because the one I was going to put was what did Harley Quinn say that she gave Detective Bullock when when they met? Yeah,
really small subpoena.
that's it. Yeah. It was a small subpoena. I was like, I thought, no, I can't do 2 Harley-based questions in a row. Yeah, that's great. And then question 3, one of my favourite things ever in Batman. In Almost Got Him, what does Killer Croc say he did to almost kill Batman?
Throw a rock at him.
He threw a rock at him. It was
Yeah.
a big
I
rock.
threw a rock at him. Yeah, it was.
I can tell.
Yeah.
So my brother's a little bit competitive. I can tell he was disappointed by the easiness of those questions.
Give him a
I-
hard
I-
one,
bet he
John.
wanted a
was gonna
real
make
Give him a hard one.
challenge.
Oh,
I felt like I got the
should we
harder
do a
ones.
hard? Okay, so what did we have left? So we had Harley Quinn.
No, I'll go on a
And-
high note. I'll go on a high note.
He's gonna take a
The
shit.
2 cents. The 2 cents almost got me, but then I remembered him going, "Here's your 2 cents."
and that's how it almost got him.
That's how I
Oh,
almost
God.
got him.
But yeah, fucking hell. I'll tell you what, because we normally do some really geeky stuff, and it's so difficult trying to think of all these different rounds, all these different things. With Batman, I thought, right, fuck it, I'm gonna have a laugh with this. I'm gonna really write up some easy questions, and then
completely out of my comfort zone.
but then I didn't realise because
Lord of the Rings or Warhammer.
Because that was the thing. I was thinking when we were doing this, when we were playing this podcast, I actually thought, how much does Matt actually know about Batman? This could be interesting.
Yeah, not enough.
And well,
Not a lot.
Yeah, but
Not enough.
no, not. But anyway, for everyone who is watching Outbreaks, it's launched. Get it. Get
And
it now. Get on
the
Kickstarter now.
And your podcast is released every Thursday,
That's right. Yep, wherever you get your podcasts.
right?
Oh,
Have
my
you got
goodness.
anything else you would like to pimp or sell as of before we leave?
You can check out my website, speechcomics.com, where you can look at all the comics I make myself. On the comic book stands soon, there's going to be a bunch of covers from me with Dynamite Comics, so keep an eye out for those. My last Marvel book was Doctor Doom and Rocket Raccoon, which I'm sure is still available around the world. And you can sign up to my Patreon if you want to help trying to become a comic book artist, because I do a lot of teaching in my Patreon, so that's what I'll plug. That's patreon.com/Will Robson.
That's right. And then socials, if you guys want to check us out on socials, at Batman TAS Pod, anywhere except for Twitter, which is at Batman TAS Pod 1. And that's because why?
Because we are the #1 Batman, the animated series podcast.
Goddamn right. And then if you want to check out my
I love that line every time.
and if you want to check out my brother, he's at Robson Inc. That's INK on the interwebs as well. So that's where you can find us on socials.
Right. Well, gentlemen, it has been an absolute pleasure. I'm sorry I let you down with my lack of knowledge of Batman. But yeah, maybe come back on. I can wow you with my knowledge of Lord of the Rings or Game of Thrones or something one day. But
you got to watch our latest Lord of the Rings video because you'll have a laugh at that.
Right, okay. I will. But yeah, it's been a pleasure, chaps. Really appreciate coming on. Good luck, Will, with the book. 20 backers currently. Obviously, one potentially being bogus, but 2,400.
Yeah, just cut out 1,200 from it, and that's what it is. So
yeah, it's not bad for not bad for. Oh, it's just gone up 2,500. There you go. So going
I'm
up.
watching it go up. I've never done that before.
Yeah, going up strong. But cheers, chaps. Really appreciate your time. Good luck with the podcast. Good luck with the comic books, and hopefully we'll speak to you again soon. By all means, please do. If you've got anything you want to talk about, come back on.
I reckon next Kickstarter we'll have to get you on. That'd be great.
But cheers, chaps. For tonight, I've been Matt Geary. With me has been JonJo Cosgrove.
It certainly has.
And our special guests, Alex and Will.
Thank you guys for listening and watching.
Doodle!
Hey.